besties.
Hey,
Hey,
Coach
Dr.
Nayala.
Carmel.
Yes, Coach Nayala, we are here together again.
Yes, I love when we take over. Aha, we get to take over. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
So we are here for another week of Bestie Finders Coach This. Bestie Finders office hours Coach This moment. And I am Coach Nayela, and we have Dr. Carmel.
Yes. How you doing? It's a pleasure to be here. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yes, yes. Get that exhorter up. That's not in her
Yes.
top three. That's not in her top three, right? This
Pull it
exhorter
up.
got to get it
Yeah,
pumped up for her.
yeah.
So
Pull it up.
I'm excited about today because we are going to talk about the teacher small group leader. Um, we always get the opportunity to talk about the different um, gifts that we have, how it shows up in our leadership skills. All we all have seven gifts, motivational gifts, but we operate in the top three.
Mhm.
And today we get the opportunity to talk a little bit about that teacher gift and the giver gift. So I'll give the scenario and let's see if you all can highlight which one is the teacher, which one is the giver. And so we have someone that wants a structured curriculum, right? They want everything structured. And the other, well, I said giver, that's not actually the gift. So y'all stay tuned. Hear the whole scenario. That's not the gift. Um, and then we have someone else who wants to open up with discussions and testimonies and get people all going and just just feeling good and celebrating them and giving them opportunity to just share,
Mhm.
which could actually deter or mess up the flow of that structured curriculum,
Mhm.
right? Because you're on a timeline, you have things that you need to have an outcome of, and people need to make sure that they get what they came for, right?
Right. Yeah.
So there's a little divide in this particular teacher small group, right? And so this is the opportunity to coach this moment on structure versus spontaneity.
Mhm.
So, with that little background of what I shared, Dr. Carmel, what are your thoughts in terms of the structure versus spontaneity?
Well, prior to me knowing what my gifts were, as far as being gift intelligent and even emotionally intelligent, I would have been frustrated and annoyed, because there's a set way of doing things, and then you have this list and agenda in your head, and you also probably have an agenda printed out to where people know what to expect. And if it's a small group, it's kind of they know what to expect. There's a timeline, like you said. We have at like if it starts at 10 o'clock a.m. At 10:05 we're gonna do this. At 10:15 we're gonna do this, and there's a set time space for everything. But if you introduce spontaneity, we may not get to the goals, we may not get to the objectives, we may not even complete the all the things that we wanted to do as far as the activities on the agenda. So we'll be prepared for the next meeting or the next session. And so prior to me being gift intelligent and even emotionally intelligent, I would have been frustrated, and then there probably would have been a split in the group, because the back talk, the side conversations, even the side text, on your phone, like this is not the way it was supposed to go, and blah blah blah. But now, in a space of being gift intelligent and even emotionally intelligent, I understand that there has to be a balance. And I also
Mhm.
understand, as a teacher, I have to yield the floor, if that makes sense. Whenever there's an
Mhm.
opportunity for spontaneity, or to even to get the people involved, to kind of get a buy-in, but not so much as a buy-in, but make it more personal for them. Understanding the overall goal of it. The overall goal is about the people. The overall goal is about to whatever it is on the agenda, whatever it is, the objective and activities of the meeting, the session, or whatever it is, people are at the center. And that's what
Mhm.
I have to remain conscious of as a teacher. It's not so much as the rigid part of it, the agenda, the goals, objectives, and even, the assessment at the end. If there's a check-in assessment, it's more about the people. And then, get with get with the other person who wants to get everybody involved, who wants them to be celebrated. Get with them and say, okay, now we're reaching the end of this. How do we tie this together? And just yield the floor to them and allow them to kind of, do that part of it as well. But that's my take on it.
I love that. I love how you incorporate the exhorter, right?
Hmm.
Because that's the other gift. In case you all didn't recognize the one that wants to get everybody in, that exhorter person with that gift to come in and tie it in at the end. Because then you get the opportunity to hit all of the objectives. And I love how you highlight that, as a teacher, the focus is not necessarily the people, it's the objective. So now that you have the gift intelligence of knowing, okay, it's keeping the people at the forefront of the mind, helps you to incorporate that other gift, which has allowed you to grow from being irritated and frustrated and having those side conversations to now, okay, how can I include them in the process? How can I get them going and we still meet the objectives? That's why these groups are so beautiful, because it lets us know how to, right? That
Right.
awareness for
Hmm.
us to implement. How can we work with those that have other gifts that may clash with
Hmm.
what our top gifts are?
Right.
And so, as you were talking about keeping the people first, and I was thinking to myself, that's all I think about. That's all I think about is the people. It's the people. And so, on the reverse side of the person who wants to open up and have the discussions and all the conversations and the testimony, it that unlocked for me. I need to think about the structure, right? Keeping that at the forefront of the mind, because I definitely want people to get what they came for,
Hmm.
even though I love people. Like I just sit there and just talk, 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 and then we don't come to a actual next step because I'm so busy talking, talking, talking.
Right.
And that structure allows us the opportunity to get to know somebody, as well as having next steps. It's useful and purposeful time versus
Yeah.
just some randomness, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Um, Yeah,
I
and I
like
think, yeah, and I think even with the exhorter, I'm glad you tied them in, because sometimes if it's so structured, people could be bored and they still miss it. Like,
exactly, exactly. And they're like, how does this apply to me? Or I don't feel like I'm a part of this,
yeah.
And so that balance is very important. It's very important. And I love what you said about getting what they came for, but also being mindful
Mm,
um, that it's important to get them involved, because they may get bored. And I thought about guardrails, and I think Dr. Lisa said this before in one of our other office hours, is like having guardrails to kind of keep you in line, but allow you that flexibility also, to where with the teacher gift not being so rigid in the
mhm.
actual curriculum and things like that, to where you don't allow moments for flexibility, moments for spontaneity, that kind of thing. But it's also, like you said, important to know who you're working with and being
Yes.
conscious of the other gifts and allowing them to function in their gifts, because you never know who you're serving in the audience until you get to know them. And that's how you get to know them, is
Yes.
through them sharing and different things like that. And also, another thing that stood out to me was preserving the person, preserving
Mm,
them where they are, to where they don't feel, like you said, like, well, I don't guess I need to share anything, or they may get bored, or they don't, or they just disconnect altogether, just be disengaged altogether. And so preserving the other people or other person where they are, and allow them to show who they are and operate and function, because I look at it like an opportunity to learn. just like with you, with your gifts. When I see you in action, some of the things that you do, I'm like, oh, I could incorporate that. Or the way that you pivot on the fly, that's one of your strengths. And also, your willingness to listen, to slow down, to take time, and to listen to other people intently,
Hmm.
without being like, okay, I only have 5 minutes to listen to you and you're already 2 minutes in, so you got 2 minutes left. But being flexible enough to hear them, because a lot of people, the first few minutes of the conversation, they don't open up. But you giving them that time to kind of let their guard down, to kind of let the ice melt, so
Hmm.
they can feel open for enough or comfortable enough to be open with you, to where you can learn where they are, where you can see what gifts they may operate in. So it all works together. It all works
Yes.
together with the way you explained it so beautifully. So yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I don't like when she turned it on me. I could say the same about you, Dr. Carmel. Just the structure and the openness and the space that you offer to other people. And I think that's the power of the gifts, of knowing the gifts. Because
Mhm,
before, you know, there could be, I would say, with my top gifts being compassionate, giver, and exhorter,
mhm,
that compassionate is really looking at the problem, right? And looking at, how can we relieve somebody else of their problem? But it can also cause a comparison thing, right? So how you identified somebody's strengths, you no longer see it as a threat or a distraction or something that will derail the structure of the program. It
mhm.
is now incorporated. This
Yeah.
is a value that I can now incorporate.
Right.
So it shifts the whole perspective of how you work with people, um, and even live with people that
Yeah.
have, clashing gifts. And
Mhm.
so this is why the increasing your gift intelligence by discovering you and taking the gifts course is so important. It's
Yes.
so vital because it helps build teams. It allows you to get better results and better outcomes, whether it is for a structured group team, teacher, small group leadership, whether it is your personal marriage, because some people leave because they don't understand the gifts, and
Yeah.
understanding it allows you to give space and the patience to
Mhm.
be able to give that other person um, time to adjust. But overall, it is a life changing assessment that allows you to understand yourself better
Yes.
so that you can work with others better. And it just
Absolutely.
makes life better. I'm
It
going to put
does.
it back on the screen one more time because I think
Exactly.
everybody needs to get it. Everybody needs to
Exactly.
get it.
Yes. It will empower you. It will grant you grace to yourself as well as to others. But more importantly, it will preserve you as you grow. So
Mm,
that's what I love about the gift course. It teaches you so much about yourself and even others, to where your eyes open up, and then for you to accept the responsibility, like, I'll take charge of this. I'll be
yes.
the one who will gracefully bow out and allow the other person to step forward. And then you pivot while allowing them to do what they do best, which is operate in their gifts. And hopefully, with
Yes.
them looking at you, granting them grace, they'll see, okay, they responded this way. Dean Cathy says it all the time. Okay, in her marriage, when she was married, she responded differently, and the people around her responded to that change differently. So it ended up being more positive than negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, this is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So, with that, we're below time. Want to say thank you again. See you next week, besties. I got my
Yeah,
jewelry on today.
yeah.
It's look my
You got,
hearts.
you
Come
got
on, hearts.
come on,
Okay,
heart.
there we
There we
go. Just had to position it right. All right,
go.
y'all come on and get your gift assessment. Discover your gifts, and we will see you next week. Bye.